see the story of Marat Mychaels,
The
Do
story.
You Pooh? Many years ago, Marat came to me. He's like, hey, I have this book. You should do it. It's called Do You Pooh. Many, many years ago. And then a decade later, everyone now comes to you. Marat doesn't call anybody. Everyone comes to Marat.
That is a lie. I called you 2 weeks ago and I said I have a bunch of books. Do you want to buy them?
So Do You Pooh has been like an industry phenomenon. A decade of Do You Pooh.
Crazy,
Like,
right?
yeah. How do you? I remember that conversation vividly at Frank and Sons in
Yeah.
Southern California. You came with you like JPG. You should do this book. It's like, oh, okay, okay. And it is really one of the staples of the comic industry.
It's pretty crazy. It's never expected it. Just kind of thought, maybe we get like good 6 month run out of it. A few retailers like yourself would do a few covers, people would like it, but you know how this industry is. Some gets hot and then like nobody knows about it 6 months later, especially in indie book. It's just crazy. The fans really, just came out and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And, guys like you came out with concepts that were like outside of my thought process. They're like you're like, let's do this video game thing, or let's do this Obey stamp. Or and I was like, what's this Obey Andre the Giant crazy thing? But it's like that's not the culture I was familiar with, but it helped expand it to so many like new fans. And it just kept growing and growing and growing.
Well, thank you for being here.
My
And
pleasure.
through the years, seeing Do You Pooh grow and Murat's status just get to legend status. Um, you know, Murat sometimes would be come up to me and be like, "Ah, you forgot about me. You forgot about Do You Pooh." I was like, "No way. I am Do You Pooh for life." Like I've always been,
No,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I've
just
always been. I know we've been growing in our own ways. And I just really wanted to be a part of your 10-year
mm,
celebration. So thank you for letting us do
no,
this.
my absolute pleasure. And as you know, man, I'm just giving you shit. Like that's just what I do.
Yeah, but it's awesome, that 10 years and these covers are about like 9.5 years old or something.
Yours, yeah,
Or
you were
something
you
like
were you
that.
were super early. You were super early.
It's really there. So like
Yeah,
we're coming out with special editions. We have the special X
special
for
X.
the
That's
celebration of the 10
for the
years.
10. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome
That is
10
pretty
years.
insane. That is pretty insane. Yeah. Like when I think 10 years, I was like, that's not true. It's like only a couple years ago I started this. Then I go, oh, yeah, I'm old. So
And I think about innovators and the people take a chance that haven't, you know, people that paved the way and trailblazers. What you did was never was done before, like period in the comic industry.
thank you.
Um, with with Image doing what they did, but they did it with you know teams and stuff like that. You went on your own and kind of gave a whole new this whole new generation, these people making hundreds of $1,000s, $1 million, like releasing their own books, is solely because of what you
You're too
paid.
kind. That's the
It's the
truth.
truth.
But
You popularized it and made it. This is doable by yourself.
yeah, that part I will take some credit for.
Do
Because
no,
because
that is
people
it's
laughed at me in the
100%.
beginning when I was like, "Oh, this book is limited to 25, and I'm charging 25," and people are like, "Nobody's gonna buy this book for $25." Like now those books are on eBay for like three, four, five, $600, and I'm like, "You should have bought it for 25, bro." Like,
I do remember one conversation like nine back then when we were
yeah,
doing this. You doing the limited 25. I was like, I'm a rat. I was like, I want to do a one of one. And you're like, a one of one, JP? Well, why don't we do two? So you get one and I get one. I was like, no, there's just one.
yeah,
Like,
right.
no APs, just have the one. He's like, ah. And you kind of gave me some pushback, but
I,
now one of ones
One-
are a thing.
no, one-on-ones became a thing. No, you were kind of the guy that made that happen for sure.
And
Um,
yeah,
yeah, no, it's the thing is where I do pat myself on the back is I've been smart enough to see what other people are doing and learn from it. So if something's working, I was open. Somebody comes up with a concept, I'm open to it. Like if the idea is worth giving a shot, like why not? What's the worst that can happen? Like, you know, the worst that happened is I didn't have a one of one that I could sell, and he made all
No,
the money.
those one on ones, because of the pushback, and when you trailblaze, as you know, even with the one on ones, like I'm not sure, but I'm kind of guessing. And I released them. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make these. I released what,
Yeah,
like 8 of them. And it was like $250 a piece at San Diego Comic Con, and they sold out in like 10 minutes.
yeah.
I was like, oh crap, like this works.
But I think like you have a great grasp of it. It's just understanding what people want. Like, you know, just give the people what they want. It's not that hard of a concept. Like, stop going against the grain. And I always laugh at creators who are like, I want to do this, and people reject it. Like the fans reject it. Like, if you got 20 people supporting your stuff, you don't have a success. Like I've literally had friends who are like pushing a book that nobody wants, and then they do another book and people want that book, but they won't pursue that avenue. They pursue the one they want to like shove down people's throats. And it's like, bro, if I want a hamburger, you're not gonna feed me pizza today. Like I want a burger. Like, it just is what it is.
No, this is the pizza. Pizza. Everybody
Like,
wants
you know
pizza
what I'm
all the
saying? Yeah.
time.
You're not gonna give me liver. Like I want my burger. Like,
So
what I'm saying?
thank
Um,
you. Thank you for letting us re-release the
yeah, no,
special
I think
editions of
that's
the
cool.
one-on-ones of all. These are all my covers that
Yeah,
I
they're all
did
different.
over
That's the cool thing.
over
Yeah.
not yet 9 years ago. So these are the re-release special editions, the special X on it. We have the Do You Pooh posse that we're gonna auction today off with Marat. And Marat's so kind enough. He said he's gonna sign any book
Yeah.
that you want. And I did the cover art for these too, so they could be double signed if you want with no extra charge. We have the 8-bit where you.
Yeah. Mega Man.
I
And
remember this
Mario.
too. I wanted to make a version, but I wanted to make it different. So I took the character and I put the whale's vagina
No, that
right
was people
logo
love that.
right.
People love that was awesome. I
You
laughed my
wanted
ass
me
off.
to make a T-shirt back then.
I did. I think we
Yeah.
still should for San
So
Diego this
for the
year.
for the special edition, we have the X instead, the Mega Man. These are all covers I did a long time ago before AI. I had to put all these little pixels.
I did a pixel cover, and I had to do that myself too. Yeah, so that's a lot of work.
And then because a lot of these covers throughout the years they've come up to me, especially the Zelda one, that these are one of the grails of the Do You
Yeah,
Poo
yeah,
industry,
definitely.
and that they go for crazy money,
Insane,
right? So
insane money.
I really didn't want to like put too many more out in the market, uh, and we made an ice foil and it's only limited to 10, the
Yeah.
ice foils, and then we have the one of ones, and it's just really to celebrate what Marat Mychaels has done for the
And we
comic
made
book
sure that
industry.
we've never done these variants before, so it wasn't like you're getting the same treatment, but it just has an X on it. Like it's all treatments that weren't available or we didn't do back then, so they are like different. Because that's the thing, as you know, we never like really try not to go back to press on stuff and not just re-release a cover because it was hot with like a different
Yeah,
color logo, or like
but thank you. The 10 years, I think
yeah,
I'll re or do another special edition at 10, 20 years or
all
20,
right,
like
all right.
because it's just I want to be a part of every
I'll be
step of Do You Poo.
I'll be such a grumpy old man.
All right, guys.
Darn kids aren't playing
So
with poo like they used to.
we're gonna auction off all the 1 of 10s on this stream. We have the Do You Poo Posse, which is the first one I did with Marat. What did
Yeah.
you think when like?
I like I said, I didn't know what that was. Like you sent me this Andre the Giant thing, and I was like, "Look, I like wrestling, but I don't know what the hell you're trying to do with this." So you're like,
It
"Let's poo it," and I'm like, "I don't understand what you're saying to me. Like we are not speaking the same language right now." And
So Shepard Barry, he's famous for the Ope. This is
yeah,
what made him famous. He would do the
well,
sticker and
I learned.
laugh. Yeah,
I
it was
learned.
I'm very much into kind of like Banksy type stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do this one, guys. The 1 of 10, the special decade of Do You Poo edition ice foil, the number 1 of 10. It is near mint. Let's get this going for you guys. Marat is a very busy man, so we're thankful that
No,
he's here for the day.
no, that's a nice room, and you guys treat me well.
All
Don't
right.
don't show up and make
Eh,
me drink like faucet water. You guys.
All right. do it. We got
Why
30
not?
seconds on the clock. But yeah, we even made stickers of this, and we're like we were slapping it everywhere in the conventions. So if you are really old school and it's really if you have one of those stickers, that's crazy. And these could be signed by Marat and me. Um, and it is limited to 10. The other 9 will be on the other shows, but the number 1 is here right now for you guys. Replica is in the lead.
Replica knows
Oh,
what's
you know
up.
Replica?
Yeah, that's my
Oh,
boy. He is one of the top
yes. Yes.
creators. He
And
is.
this is the 1 of 10 decade of Do You Pooh? Decade of brilliance,
Oakman.
decade
I know
of
Oakman.
trailblazing, decade. I love it, man. I love you, Marat.
I
You
love you too,
you
buddy, man.
you crushed it.
Hey, it
Yeah,
worked out, man. It was definitely not something I expected for sure.
it's brilliant.
You know,
I've imitated you as long as hundreds or maybe thousands of creators, and they're all eating because of you.
good for them. Like
Yeah.
I'm happy for everybody. Like I think like
Oakman's in the lead. Let's get this. This is the 1 of 10. This won't be another special edition for another decade. Oakman number 34. Congratulations on getting our first one. Would you like this sign by the man himself? Double sign, single sign, double sign.
double.
All right, let's go. Let's get this on
They
camera.
sure this those dude.
Oh wait.
I got it. I'm not that rich. I don't have openers yet.
Anyone who says that, you know about the second part. All right, let's do this. Thank you so much, Oakman. And this is the 1 of 10 ice foil. The other 9 will be available on the channel on other shows.
You guys get
And,
these ones because
and you look about like my old school signature. I have a new signature, so.
because you become quite successful, Mr. Ninja. Huh?
Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much. Dang. See, with the plastics, doesn't really do it justice with like how beautiful it looks.
For sure. Yeah.
Cool.
No.
All right. So when I presented this 8-bit to you, how did you feel?
Well, no, it was cool because I mean, obviously, I grew up with video games and I played them all, and I was just like, that's cool. Like it's different. Like I said, it was not something I was thinking because I was just doing classic comic covers at the time.
Yeah, I remember.
And
But
so, because there's so many of them that people always want homage. You have your Spider-Man 300 and, Amazing Fantasy 15 and whatever, Superman #1, Hulk 181, like all that stuff. So that's kind of where my mindset was. Plus, like, that's my passion, like, bronze and, comics. Like, that's when I got into books was the early 80s and that's when I became a fan. So that's kind of the stuff that spoke to me. So that's where my mindset was.
it's
And
awesome.
so when you brought this along, yeah, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, wasn't thinking about doing video game type covers, and especially 8-bit.
And you think about it, this is one of the first 8-bit comic book covers ever.
Yeah, yeah. No,
This exact cover with the whale's vagina. Replica is in the lead with the 1 of 10.
he's gonna get one of these. I know he is.
Yeah. Mike 107 Julie.
Mike 107. I know that.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah, these are my people. These are
Got
my
79. That's awesome. Welcome to
Yeah.
That Spider-Man Boot channel. Thank you for joining, J-Rock. Welcome.
And they know I hoard all
The 1 of 10, guys. The first 8-bit Do You Pooh cover ever. And I remember back then you let me have full reign on all the 8-bit and the hip hop. You even asked me when you wanted to do a hip hop Tupac cover. You're like, JP, is it okay? I was like, it's your IP.
I know, but you know what?
Let's go, Oakman 34. Congratulations. You want a double sign, single sign. It's up to you, my friend. Thank you so much for the support and celebrating a decade of Do You Pooh. Let me know. Let me know.
Like I was saying, I respect my retailers. Like, so I never want, you guys helped me build this. Like, that's the other thing too, is like the retailers really helped me build, like you, SMZ, some of the really early, retailers that did their own variants. Like, I always have a lot of love for all my retailers because they're the ones who help it grow. Because my reach was limited, but you guys expanded it over and over and over. So
Wow, that's a blast from the
Yeah, no
past.
kidding.
Wow, this is great. Look at this old school signature.
But it's cool to see him like on this new stock and with the new design element.
Yeah, with the ice fleck,
Yeah.
because that wasn't available back then.
No, no. A lot of stuff. And we actually, the gold ones that you're about to show,
It's the
that's
new,
like,
it's the very first versions of it, right?
that's like an, as
It's
far
a
as I
new
know.
process. Yeah.
Yeah, because we haven't been able to do cracked ice or crystal like golds before. So we kind of had to figure this process out.
Awesome. So this is it. You heard it first. This special edition, first time it's offered in this
Yeah.
treatment. And this is so exciting.
This is
It's so
fun, right?
exciting. Yeah.
This is fun.
A decade, man.
I
A
know.
decade.
Long
Yeah,
time.
do it.
Do you miss Frankincense at all?
Me?
Yeah.
You know what? I love Frankenstein's,
Yeah.
and you know what Frankenstein's did. Frankenstein's is a mini convention center.
Yeah.
Huge. It's kind of
Now it's
famous now.
huge.
Yeah, in Southern California.
Yeah.
I've been there for quite some time. I met John DeMine there. He had a booth back then. Met you there.
Yeah.
So it's a great time.
I used to live down there, so I
Sweet
see.
Chang at $11 for the gold foil, and of course it could be double signed. And the one of ones we will do after, guys. These are the of 10, and there's no common ones. This is it. 10 to celebrate the decade
Yeah.
of Do You Pooh,
Just as special.
and it's the one of 10. Scott 7976 is one of your guys.
I don't recognize that name.
Well, he's here now.
Yeah, I know.
He's fighting. He's in the trenches
I don't.
for
I
this
mean,
first.
I might know him in person. I might just not recognize the screen name. Dooms. I am all over the place. I run around like a madman.
He is in high demand. And so Scott 7976. Congratulations.
Congrats, buddy.
You wanted it double signed, single signed, either or. Marat is blessing you guys for free. Irish God, we are doing the one metas. We're gonna do them
Go
after
double.
the 10. Double signed. Awesome.
Double signed it is.
So we're, being a trailblazer, was there any doubts along the way, or
Oh
you
yeah.
just had self-confidence through the way? Or
No, no. It was like I said. It wasn't like I was like, oh, you know what? The industry needs this book. I have this brilliant idea. It was just like it was for fun. Um, I thought it would last maybe 6 months, maybe a year.
fudge.
And it was never gonna be like my primary thing, because I wanted to do like superhero comics. Like that's what I grew up. Like you brought up Image Comics. I was the first Image Comics rookie. I was like 18 years old when that happened. So I was, started off as Rob Liefeld's assistant. So I always wanted to do more superhero stuff. That was always my passion. I started doing this after I worked on Deadpool at Marvel. So, it was just like, it was a weird transition. But as it kept growing, like I was saying earlier, I was like,
It's like
none of them will works. Like, this is what people keep telling me they want. Like,
you
so
told me something, you tell me every time I kind of see you about like the covers, and like you guarantee that you'll like a cover. Can you tell that story? Because I always find it
I
interesting.
guarantee that I like the cover.
Like when people would come be like, oh, Do You Pooh's not really my thing. But
Oh,
I
oh,
love that story.
but yeah,
I
well,
love it.
it's funny because he's on Whatnot, and he doesn't mind me dropping Countdown Comics. He walked up to me one convention with a couple other buddies, and they were buying the Pooh books, and he's like, "Hey, man," and he's a cool guy,
Yeah.
totally, totally cool, always has been. He's like, "Hey, man, like, good for you on your success, but I don't understand this Pooh stuff. Like, I don't get it, but good for you for all the success." And it was like, it's kind of like assholey, but
Yeah.
still cool at the same time.
Countdown's awesome.
Yeah.
Countdown's awesome. Yeah.
Um, and
He's
I
like a
said, that's cool.
backhanded.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I said, that's cool, but there's gonna be one cover sooner or later that you're gonna buy, and you're gonna own a Pooh book. And he's like, nah, never, never. Came back to me next year. He's like, fuck
We
you.
got this live
Yeah,
right now.
like,
There's 10 seconds left.
he's like, you got me. It was like
$1.
it was some album. It was some album cover. Um, I can't remember what it was, and he was like, "You got me with that cover. You got me with that one." And he's like, "I bought it. I bought a Pooh book." He's like, "You were
Wow.
right." And now he does his own Pooh variants, which
Dude,
is awesome.
isn't that the redemption of things? There's so many people that have expressed opinions
Oh,
online and then they congratulate you in
yeah,
person.
yeah.
It's almost a
Look, online's online. Like
yeah,
people,
but it's the
keyboard
same
warriors
people
are
that come
hilarious.
they
Yeah.
come to you in person and
No, no, it's
change their
yeah,
tune.
yeah. It's but it's.
Oakman 34 is in the lead.
I
This is
think
Mega Man.
I think the worst thing you can do as just a creator, writer, artist, whatever you do that's creative is like let other people tell you what to do with your work. Like do what you love and then or do what you enjoy and people enjoy um from you. That's the path. Like, it's not political at all, but
Wise words.
somebody told me one time like stop trying to churn people who don't like your work. Just focus on the people who do. Like they're the ones you're doing it for. Because this guy might never like, no matter what you
Hmm.
do, you could have the greatest thing ever, and he'd be like, I don't like that guy. I don't like his work. Period. I'm
Yep.
not supporting him.
You
So
can make you can make Inception. You can be
yeah.
Kobe.
So
People are
yeah,
still gonna hate you.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, who cares about those people?
Would you like a double sign? Double sign? Awesome. Thank you, Oakman
Yeah,
34, for your support.
yeah. So to me, it's like, who cares about people? You think my stuff is stupid? All right, cool. Like you don't like it? All right, cool. Probably if I went through your comic collection or your music collection, I'd be like, that sucks, that sucks, that sucks. But but it doesn't
Clip
matter.
that.
But it doesn't matter because it's your comic collection or your
Yeah.
music collection or your whatever you collect, you enjoy. Like, you know, who cares what I think about your likes and your tastes? I worry about my likes and my taste and people like my stuff. Good. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love those. My fans know how much I appreciate them and um my haters, good. Thank you. Means I'm doing some right, as they say, right?
Oh yeah,
Nobody
like
nobody hates people who don't have success. Like,
yeah. The one thing I always am worried about is like I'm not worried if I do appreciate when they appreciate, and then, when it is a little bummer sometimes when they hate.
yeah.
But the worst thing is that they stop talking about
Yeah,
you.
that's it.
That's the absolute worst thing.
It's like,
You're not even relevant to hate.
yeah. My thing with haters is like no hater has ever helped me pay any of my bills. Like my fans, help me make a living. Like no fans, you know, then they're haters. Like if they're not fans. So the cool thing is I have just friends of mine who like will go on vacation now and they're like, I was in Hawaii and I went to a comic book store and they had a Pooh book in the in the window and they're like, you're everywhere now.
No,
Oh,
Pooh books are the one of, if not the most requested. Like it's got to be.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
like, and because they're so limited, we can't keep them in stock.
Well, and that was always my thing because I'm a comic book fan, I'm a collector. So I never wanted, like, my whole thing in the back of my mind is you can't control it, but I was like, I never wanted somebody to pay 25, 35, $50 for a book, whatever they're paying. And then, like, 3 months from now, it's worth like $5.
Yeah,
Because as a collector, I've been there, like you know,
that's
so in the back of my mind, it's like don't oversaturate it with, I mean, obviously we've saturated the market with the amount of covers we've done and the amount of variants, but it's always different. Like you're not getting 1,000 of any one cover. Maybe you get 100 combined with your foils, your metals, your leathers, your trades, your virgins. Like maybe you get 100. Some people go big and do around 200, the bigger retailers, but it's never like this crazy
thank
oversaturation
you,
of any
Scott.
one cover. So that was always in the back of my mind. Mods, when's the Lethal Pooh show? It's a good question. It might be my personal post MegaCon show with whatever I have left. Um, yeah, because we did the Lethal Weapon, Mel
Yeah.
Gibson, Denny for the convention.
Oh, that's
But you know me.
Myrtle and Riggs are here.
Yep, that's it. That's it. Or as we like to call him, Mel Poopson.
Mel Poopson.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's endless.
It is
It's
endless.
amazing.
love that the guys are like talking to each other, like who's going for that 1-on-1, who's going for this 1-on-1.
Well, these are, I love to see these in physical form again, you know. Um,
Oh, that's a special.
yeah, so this is awesome. You know, this is the one that throughout the years people have come they always try to get me out of retirement to do a Do You Pooh like cover. Like, JPG, what do I need to do to get you to do a Do You Pooh cover? I'm like, you gotta pay me a lot. I was like, I'm not doing it, you know, like I'm not, you know, like that was my time and I enjoyed it. It was
Yeah,
a great time. Um, but this one especially, they come up to me all the time, and that's like their one of their
the
prize Do
grails.
You
Yeah, that's
Poos,
a
right?
grail. Yeah.
And I remember doing it because the other 8 bits and the other covers were regular covers. And then for the regular version of this, I was like, oh yeah, make like 50 gold ones. And you know, back then you were doing 10 or
Yeah, yeah,
25. But the,
yeah.
the, the thing, so 50 for a regular one was,
A
it
lot.
seemed like
Yeah,
kind of a lot, right? Uh, but it just took off immediately
yeah,
because it was gold foil and it was a regular one, you know?
yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's how it is. There's no paper version. Yeah,
Mm.
so this is what I get contacted about the most in the DMs and in person. And to come out of art retirement, I'm just like,
Excuse me.
what's up, Stay
Yeah.
Inked? All right, here's Zelda, the one that kind of people have come up to me throughout the years for
What's up,
quite some
Stay
time.
Inked? That's
And,
definitely one of the grails for
and
sure.
we did it here. We did a diamond version, you know, just to keep the
Yeah,
gold. We went a level above for this
yeah.
decade of Do You Poo celebration.
No, no, we came up with some cool treatment. I think it worked out.
Replicas in the house. How you doing? Thanks for
Yeah.
the bid. Blackbird, welcome in.
Replica's been trying to get in on one of these. I don't think he's won one yet, but
Oh, he's
he's
been waiting for
he's
this.
been
The
itching.
Zelda.
He's been
This
itching.
is it. The Diamond Zelda.
Oh, Vic.
You know, it's
They
crazy. All
they
these
know each other.
it's crazy with all these
Apparently.
treatments, you know, like even all these were going for 80, 100 or whatever. Like all my old covers they go for like
They're
$300.
insane.
They go
They're
for
insane.
crazy money.
I saw somebody. I mean, this is just an insane post, but somebody had a Javon Jordan remark poo up for $8,900 on eBay.
Ooh,
It was
Vic's
it
Comic
was
Room,
it
welcome.
was 9.8
Congrats.
collab, but still, I was like, you're on crack. Like, you gotta, like, God bless you if you could get it. But I was like, that's I don't want to sell this book. I'm just if somebody's crazy enough to buy it, I'll sell it.
So Vic's Comic Room, uh, we just got to make sure that it comes through. Well, oh, yeah. So Vic's Comic Room, we're all right. We got you. You want it double side?
You never know with Vic.
Vic, he's one of you guys.
He is one of my guys. He actually he's a retailer too. He
What
does
do
a
you call it? Do you poo Legion? Do you poo? What is the nation's
lot.
version of Do you poo?
Oh, the poopies.
Oh, I love it.
No, my a buddy of mine, like I was Jeff from Hot Flips. They sell like art supplies and protectors and stuff. And I table with them a lot because they're buddies. So I go to a lot of shows and I just set up at the Hot Flips booth. They always have space for me. And one show was like crazy. You know how some shows, like when the doors open, like people rush to the table because they want to get the limited stuff. So that was one of those type of shows. And Jeff was like, "Holy crap! Like you have like groupies." And I was like, "They're not groupies. They're fans." He's like,
They're
"No, they're
poopies.
like your poopies." And I was like, "I'm so stealing that, Jeff. Like that is."
Uh,
I made shirts out of it and everything.
hey guys, stay tuned. We're also gonna have the one of ones after this too. Um, I love it. The poopies.
And then the haters are the poopers.
Oh god. Oh yes, a decade of Do You Poo.
Still crazy to think that. You know, the big question is when you're moving to Vegas, so we can set up, Counterpoint Comics offices right next to
Paris
Universal.
Entertainment.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. The new uh-oh. I want to see how what this does now and then like you know what's crazy like through the aftermarket through the
Yeah.
years that what this will do.
Yeah, that's always fun to see. People ask me all the time, like I don't follow it that much. Just people will send me like screen captures. This just sold for this much, or this is listed for this much. And I get people like, "What do you think this is worth?" It. I'm like, I have no idea.
I oh man, I see the originals go for like 350. I'm like,
Yeah,
this is wild.
yeah, it's
And it
crazy.
says like, I was the one that printed like a lot. So sometimes it'd be limited to 100,
Yeah,
150. I'm like, and
like,
they're still going for like
but
so much.
but the thing is, like when I started, selling 25 was like, oh great, I had a sellout. Like because people were just the base was growing. But when we went into the pandemic and we were all on lockdown and Marvel and DC and all those companies weren't publishing, my printer, I lived in Phoenix and my printer was in Phoenix. So we could still produce new books.
Mm-hmm.
And literally like
We broke 100 on the
nice,
TV. That's awesome.
nice.
This is the
So
standard.
we would literally like meet in a parking lot. Like he'd pop his trunk, I'd pop my trunk. Cause there was nobody on the streets. And so literally it was like a drug deal. Like I would take boxes of books, put them in mine, and drive home before I get pulled over for being out. And
Replica, you want it double signed? Thanks, man. I mean, you might have gotten the grail of the of tens
yeah.
until we get to the one of ones. Uh,
So it definitely blew up then. And then we did the what was that? The one about the tiger guy, Tiger King. We did the Tiger King variant and
uh-huh.
it started trending on like um X, I guess now, Twitter. And like people were like, "What is this crazy book?" And it just blew up then. And then when Whatnot started,
Uh-huh.
it was just like forget about it. Like the fan base has just gone so crazy as far as the amount of people that collect these books. So now when you think like a print run of 50 of the older books,
Mm-hmm.
you just don't see a lot of them because people know those are like collection grails. If you're a Pooh fan, like that's a
Well,
grail book and they don't let them go.
well, 10 years of Do You Poos.
Yeah.
The hype is real. It's the
Yeah.
hype is substance
Yeah.
at this point. You
No,
can't
it's a
you can't say that it's hype for the moment anymore. It's
yeah. Well,
a decade of holding value, a decade of me selling the book for 25 bucks. Now I see my books or my covers from back then for 300,
yeah.
500 bucks. It it's doing what you set it out to do.
Yeah.
It's not it's not only a hype book. It is very a hype book, but it's also has substance behind it.
Again, I just kind of see it all as all inclusive. Like it's a team. Like I don't want to screw over my fans by being greedy. I don't want to screw over my retailers by being greedy. So I want to work like it's like we're in it together. Like you know, and I think a lot of creators in general just kind of forget that the fans are like as special as they should be elevated. Like your fans are literally like you don't have a job if you don't have people supporting you. Like you're gonna be freaking flipping burgers.
This cover, I released the first three 8 bits during San Diego Comic Con. I was like, oh man, those were popping. So then, I had the three hearts where it's like one, two, three, and I was like, oh, how do I do another one? So I had a whale's vagina after
Yeah.
party. I was like, I need to get another one in. And I was on the verge of wanting to do Mike Tyson's. I was like, oh man, they loved it. And so this is the whale's vagina after party. It's basically with three being successful,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, let me get Mike. I really love Mike Tyson. Let me
Yeah.
let me get that one out. And so this one was a personal one that where I was like, didn't care. I thought it would sell it. You go
Yeah.
Super Mario, Zelda, and like Mega
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Obviously, Mike Tyson's.
No,
You're like,
that's
I'm not sure, but like, I love Mike Tyson's
people love that
touchdown.
game. Yeah.
That was my favorite.
It's funny though, that kind of the whale's vagina thing kind of tells you like it's been 10 years because 10 years
Yeah.
ago,
Yep.
it was
Yep.
from Ron Burgundy as one of the most
Yeah.
quoted lines.
Yeah.
So now people are like, whale's vagina.
Yeah.
You gotta explain it to them.
Yeah.
They're like, all right,
The
this is why it says whale's vagina. Like it means San Diego, but it
Yep.
doesn't. Like,
And Do You Poo throughout the decade very much represents pop culture
yeah,
during that period because people are so on top of Do You Poo
yeah.
ideas.
Oh no, I get all the time now. Like something happens, like
You
literally,
like this double signed Irish God?
yeah, like when Will Smith slapped Chris
Irish God, thank you.
I had my iPad and I was already sketching out like who's slapping, somebody. And I was like 5 minutes after it happened, people were DMing me. They're like, "Did you draw the cover already?" Like, because they know I try to stay on top of stuff. I
Dude,
miss stuff.
that's
I miss stuff,
amazing.
but like usually I'm like, if something happens in pop culture. I'm on it. Like I'm drawing it. Like
Yeah. So
I'm
you think Do You Pooh's also a record of time, like, pop
yeah,
culture
yeah.
time?
Well, Javon Jordan actually is like it's not a comic book at this point. You're just part of pop culture. Like it's a thing. It's not just comic. That's pretty freaking amazing. Like you know, because
Um,
again, I came up with like I worked for Rob Liefeld. Like I was there when they were doing their initial Image Comics meetings, when they were talking about leaving Marvel. So you're like, you're 18 years old and you're sitting next to like legends like Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, Rob,
uh-huh.
Louis Portacio, whatever, Silvestri, all those guys, and you're like, that's such a high bar. You
Yeah.
never think you're gonna be able to achieve anything anywhere close to that. So you're always Rob remains to this day one of my closest friends. And so it's like no matter like what I do, I'm always like, I'll never create a Deadpool. Like, I'll never, start an Image Comics. So it's like
But
it's
it's
the it's the
different,
it's the carrot. It's the carrot. So you keep chasing because I think, you want that. Like if you're satisfied, yeah, you're like you always want to have goals and aspirations. And so when you have one of your closest friends and you grew up in the industry with these kind of iconic legends, like that carrot is always going to be there. You're always going to be chasing, which is always, how you better yourself and keep pushing. So, you know, um, yeah, so that's,
But you did something, right? You trailblazed for create. I mean, people are eating because of you.
yeah,
A lot of people
like
are
I said,
eating.
I learned from other guys. I learned like Brian Polito, who's also been a mentor and a buddy.
Shout out Brian Polito.
Yeah, he's been a mentor, and I've known Brian, forever too. I mean, before Lady Death, I knew him way back when. He's a trailblazer, so it's like
Yeah.
you talk to him and you get ideas, and other creative guys who kind of come up with the whole own concepts and own ways to do variants and promote their product. Like um, you pick up pieces from everybody, but I think all of people like that have one thing in common, and that's like you said, it's that whole like I don't care. I'm gonna do this, and I don't care what you think. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, you can laugh at me. But you laughing at me while it's working is just stupid to me. Like, so like, okay, get your laughs in. Like, this is stupid. All right, cool. Like, don't buy it.
It's difficult, like, to go against the grain.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
But there is some like you know there's some very freeing when you're like, go.
oh,
I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care what you think. Like,
thank you for letting me do all the hip hop too. I remember when you were like, JP, you could do all the hip hop,
well, yeah.
all the 8-bit. It's
Well,
your
that's
thing. No other retailer
Well,
could
that's
do
why. Well, that's
it.
why. I reached out to you when I wanted to do the Tupac one because I did say that, and I'm like, I'm not a guy who
That
goes
was
back on his
awesome.
word of like, you know,
You even gave me garbage pail kits, and I didn't do it for years. And you're like, I think I'm gonna let someone else do garbage. But it's been like 4 years.
yeah, yeah, like
Ready to poo, the notorious DYP. Let's go, Oakman. Congrats. Let us
yeah,
know.
brother. These guys know they're picking up number ones. I
Yeah,
hoard those.
yeah,
Whenever
dude.
I get my order, the first thing I do is open it up and I pull out the number one, put it in a separate box, and then I bag and board out. I have like we sold. I've had AP ones and number ones forever. Like I just kept them in a storage unit. And about 3 years ago, we sold a bunch. And I was like, oh man, I'm kind of running low on these. Like, and now I'm like over 30 boxes of number ones and AP ones. And eventually I'll sell them. Or maybe I won't. Who knows?
Yeah, sometimes like, cause I have like one of each of the original ones too, and sometimes I see how much they go for. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I could just cash these in and just put a down payment on a car.
I know, right?
Just like it's like no, I'll keep them. I love them too. The old paper. It's
Yeah.
like,
No, and it's cool. It's cool to see them. Like literally when I go through them sometimes, I'm like, I totally forgot half these like books were ever done. Like I forgot drawing them. I forgot publishing them. It's like, oh yeah.
oh, I'm glad you let me. Murakami was big back then. This is very much a a time,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
time capsule,
Oh, for
right?
sure. For sure.
Murakami was big, Kanye was big. I did my own version of it. I was really into the hype beast scene. Think about this: 10 years ago, hype beast got really big. 5 years
Yeah.
ago, I was doing it 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, you're ahead of the curve, buddy. Trailblazer in your own right.
I'm a
You know,
poo believer.
you are a poo believer. You are a poo believer.
Tell them about the
Another
poo
one.
believer stairs.
I was,
I did want to re-release my covers back in the days, and I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna release them, and I want to do a poo believers like version. He's like,
I'm stealing that, JP. I'm stealing it.
and he totally forgot that I came up with it.
No, but when you said it to me, when you said it to me, I was like, "Oh, you're right." I totally, and I did. I admitted I stole it from you, but I told you I would steal it from you the minute you said it. So,
Yeah. So this one is a little special. This one was supposed to be of 10, but I must have either miswrote or something happened in the communication, and they only made one of these, so
yeah,
there is no other. There's no. This is the only
that's
ice foil of the kill shot. It's a funny story from back in the days too. The kill shot. I wasn't sure, it was Eminem, and it was the not like us for like back
yeah,
in the day. And I was like, I don't know if people will buy it. So I only ordered 25 of them. And it happened to like sell out like immediately. I was like, what am I thinking? And,
yeah.
like you never see these ever because there's only 25
That's
of them.
that's the hard
And
thing.
then same thing happened with this one. I was like, oh my gosh, this is never gonna get
I
to the
think
public.
I think yeah,
It's
that's the true collector's
a
book.
101 ice kill shot. But I was like, oh, it happened again. But this one wasn't. This was a So
Yeah,
this is the only one. It's a one of one ice. Uh it was supposed to be 10, so there's no other ones. This is the one of one ice. There's also a one of one metal, but that means those are the only two that got the celebration treatment for the kill shot. So
yeah,
now there's only two that got
yeah.
released for the special editions. This
Maybe
one
it's
of one,
meant to
it's
be super super rare.
they're like, yeah, stop with the kill shot.
Hey, they call me D Nice. What's up, brother?
Tomato slap, welcome. This is a one of one ice, only one in the world. And what's cool about Marat is, you let me do these things back then.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. These are
it was
this is
awesome.
fun. Like I said, I've always seen the retailers I work with as like partners, not just
One of
people.
one, guys.
Who I just go like, all right, here, give me my money. Here are your books. Like, go sell. I don't care. Like I've always,
Oakman in the lead.
I always ask you like, are the books selling? How's it going? Are you making money? Like I
They've
want.
been selling for a decade for us.
I
I
know,
really should do
but
more.
but
We
it's
really should do it every
but
all the
I
time.
but I always want to make sure that,
Replica, you
and then
got
it's
this
the
one of one. Let us know. You want it double signed, single sign. It's totally fine too.
replica knows that's a steal, a 101
Yeah,
for
that's crazy.
20, $30.
And it goes against the kind of like the celebration theme where it's like the 10. I wanted 10 to
Yeah,
represent each
yeah.
year of Do You Pooh. And so it's like, no, kill shot.
But I know that is going to a good home. I'm glad if people get steals, I want to make sure it's like real fans. I mean, if you get a steal, good for you. But when it's the real fans, it's like even better because I know these are people who really support the product and not buying it to flip it. And, you know,
And the
they really
flippers are fine too.
no. I mean, God bless them. Like, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't, my motto is always like, I don't care what you do with the book after you buy it. Like, if you want to burn it, go, slap your dog with it. Like, that's your call. Like, don't slap your dog, by the way. Like, don't abuse your animals. um, but like, ultimately, did he want it signed?
Yeah, double signed.
Um, but ultimately, like, once you own it, like, it's up to you what you want to do with it. Um, So yeah, if you want to flip it, I hope you make a lot of money off of it. But it's always nice to know it's going to like fans who really love having a PC and and really love having these books in their collections, and they mean something to them because they're real like true fans.
All right, guys, we're coming up on the 101. So these ones you know, once we sell these, you may never see them again. It's going to go into super
Yeah,
fans.
yeah, they mostly go into PCs. Like I literally have like um fans who I just reach out to once when I have one-on-ones. I'm like, you have the right of first refusal. Like, do you want this? Do you want this? They know kind of what the prices are. They know what the starting prices are and what they're worth. I always give them like, hey, here's the starting price if you want it for that. Like, I'm not even auctioning it. I'm not running it.
Mhm.
You know, because those really do go to fans. Like they want to have those. Like it means something to them. You know, it's like we all have Grail books, right? Yeah.
What's your Grail book?
Amazing Fantasy 15. I've never
Yeah.
owned.
Oh,
I have a Spider-Man #1, but I don't have an Amazing Fantasy 15. And it's probably because it's like I wanted in a like a decent grade, like a 4 or 5 or a 5,
woo!
and that's expensive. You know, so every time I think I'm like, you know,
There.
I'm there, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna pull the trigger. Something happens. Like something in life happens. Like I was like, "Ah, I got real bills. Damn it, can't buy that book."
All right, guys, we're going to the one of ones. This is it. This is my claim to fame for the
The
comic
one
industry. You know,
it is
it's like
the
the
one
one
of
of ones.
ones. The one of ones.
Everyone does them now. I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
everybody's eating.
but you know, we were like the first to like number them because that's
Yeah,
the other thing that
100%.
that's where I kind of made people stand up and take notice is like these books are hard numbered. Like they're not. I can't tell you there's 25 of these and then there's 50 of them floating around.
All
Like
right.
like if you have a #2, you're not gonna see another #2 unless there was like a mistake made by the printer, which has happened. You know, we've tried to rectify it. We have had double printers
Yeah,
once in a while. Um, sneak out because books get damaged. We get them reprinted, and
it's tough with damages, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. But for the most part, like 99.9% of the time, you have the one that exists. That's it. If it has a number on it, that's the only one that exists. And if it says 25, you're not, gonna find 50 of them out
Yeah,
there.
yep. I love
So
it.
with the one of ones, like people would say there was one of ones before, but like now they're like, there's a damn number on that thing.
Yeah,
We know
yeah.
what you have.
It's like, oh yeah, there's 10 of them that exist. I was like, are you sure? Scott in the lead for this 101. The Do You Poop has a posse. I always want to do something different, so you letting me do the famous Shepherd Fairy sticker was awesome for a Do You Poop.
Bro, I learned. I learned about like, different artists and stuff. And it was cool, man. It was really cool.
Man, I don't even see these covers out in the wild
No,
anymore.
I've never seen
Decade
them.
of Do You Poo editions.
Honestly, I've never even like outside of when you released them,
Mm-hmm.
people bring up like yesterday a guy brought up like 47 books for me to sign. Like none of these were in there. And I know he's a like collector. And he might have it. He's like, I got 2 more boxes. I'm gonna have to get signed by you next time. And I was like, all right, cool. He might have one in there. Like, but I never
Scott, you
seen a
got an
book.
awesome deal. That's
Yeah, he
amazing.
did. You kidding me?
You could you could flip it too.
That
This
should
is what's cool about.
that should start at 250.
Yeah,
I'll
no, but
start.
you know this. Remember what
I
I
know what you're
talked.
doing. We're doing
I
a
I
celebration.
told you
Like
that
this
this
is
was
yeah.
all a
Just
give uh
give
give
back to
Marat Michaels his flowers while he's alive.
thanks.
Well, it's very important to give people that trailblaze their flowers, you know, and this is very much
Absolutely,
that
buddy.
moment, you
You are
know.
you are way too kind to
Yeah,
me, man.
I was always like, okay, you know, this isn't about making money. This is
Yeah,
about
no, you always have. You want to
just
give back to
pushing
the
you.
fans and celebrate. You always have.
Because you make money, we make money.
Yeah, no,
This is a celebration.
no, that's awesome.
Everybody put in flowers in the chat for Murat. Give him his flowers.
I'm very sensitive, so please give me my flowers. Take myself very seriously. What's up, brother? How you doing, my man?
All right, we got the 101 hip hop graduation. Murakami homage. All right. Yeah.
Drunk Kirby. That's a great screen name.
Germ what?
Drunk Kirby.
Trent Kirby. Yeah, you know, on the other things that we released, we saw you know, even back then, you know, a decade ago, I released them for 250 a piece and they were
Really?
out. Yeah, they
Yeah,
were gone
yeah. Oh, yeah.
instantly. Yeah, at San Diego. Um, Yeah, so that is really the mark.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that's like.
But it's crazy because David Hong,
Uh-huh.
shout out David Hong, you remember him?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so he's gotten offers for like $5,000.
I know.
Like
It's
what's it
crazy.
called for my one-on-ones back then?
He tells me all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scott,
Yeah.
congrats.
No, he tells me all the time. Dave's a buddy, so like he'll text me. He's like, "I got this crazy offer." I was like, "Did you take it?" He's like, "No."
Yeah, because he's like, there's only one of them.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I take it?
Yeah. He's
Thanks, Scott.
you know, we made doubters believers. And
That's
not that
it's
David was ever a doubter, but I like nobody saw 10 years plus coming.
you don't even know. You know what? Like, cause I actually gave David those books.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, because not gave it to him. He did some design work for me.
Yeah.
That I was also into design that I could have done like
Yeah.
within an hour or two. But then I was thinking, okay, cool. David
time.
deserves this.
Yeah.
Hey, here, like, take this. I was like, because he was like, oh, let me get that. It's like, David's brilliant. He's
Yeah.
always the type that he would work for free, but he would get paid 100x.
Yeah. No, he's one of those, like, there's some guys you do business with, you're like, yeah, whatever, cool, and then other guys you're like, "Dad, I gotta sit at the table, I gotta focus, I gotta make sure I hear every word you're saying because you're shrewd." David is definitely one of the
He's
shrewdest.
smart though. He's just like,
Yes.
oh, no. Yeah, you don't have to give me don't give me any
No,
don't give me any money. Oh yeah, just let me get that through you, Pooh.
because they're short term thinkers.
Yeah.
I always tell people, like, why are you giving up making $100 later for $1 now? Like, think long term. Like,
Yeah.
think big picture.
These
Um,
they did it.
yeah.
The Ready to Pooh
Ready?
and
Pooh.
all this. I guess
The
ready to
retired JPG art.
imagine, with AI and all that stuff,
Yeah.
like and digital like booming, like man, like
I know if
I'm like
if
I
I
was already behind like back then, but like I just have like cool like thing like that. I was like, oh fuck yeah, that's
if I
cool.
used AI, you know how many Pooh covers I can do a day?
Oh man, I was just like, oh man. I was like, I'm thinking about like my 8 bits. I'm like, dots. I'm putting a dot.
Yeah, no,
It's like,
that is a
I
lot.
put like the dot. And
That is a
dot.
lot of work. That is a lot of work. Like I said, I did one cover. I was like, that's a lot. And you're just like, your eyes start getting blurry, and you're like, Jesus, how many dots are there? And you got to
And then
pull back. And yeah,
Murakami style with the Ready to Poo. Irish God's in the lead.
mm,
Oh man, Irish God,
congrats, bro.
congrats. Let us know.
Irish God's a big time supporter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
yeah, he's
And
good.
they're getting, I wouldn't even say they're getting future grills. They're getting grills now. Like
Yeah, I
these
mean,
these ones, yeah.
yeah,
And for me, not doing art anymore.
yeah. No, that's it. Maybe I have to retire. Maybe people will appreciate my art more. I'm done.
They love they love you, Marat.
Official announcement. I'm out.
These are new one-of-ones, Shmojo. These are to celebrate the decade of Do You Pooh. They're
Yeah.
the 10-year anniversary editions. We came here. We wanted to make sure we gave Marat his flowers today. So
Today.
thanks for being here.
Thank you. Also, we got to give shout out to he's a buddy of yours, Jimmy J.
Jimmy J, Bill, Amazing
Jimmy and
Comic
Bill,
Con.
Amazing
Yeah.
Comic Con. They were
Yep.
it was Amazing Comic Con in Phoenix in February, 10 years ago, where we dropped the first Do You Pooh.
Ooh, nice.
And they actually, they made it a show exclusive and stuff, like put it on there and help push it and support it. So, Clutch, what's up, buddy?
I absolutely love them. Clutch shout out.
Yeah.
Like I absolutely love them. They
Yeah.
would give me stuff when I was younger. They would just go be like, "Here, you want this?" And it's like Amazing Spider-Man 300. I'm like, "No, Bill, I don't want to take your inventory because I'm just gonna sell it."
Bill-
Like, they're like so nice.
Bill is yeah,
And they'd
Bill's
always
such a
just give
sweet-
me stuff. I was like, I don't. I was like, I have money, guys, but like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're just so nice.
They really, like. I actually worked retail for them for like 3 or 4 shows.
Ah, That's awesome.
Just because I want to go to these conventions, and it was way before the Pooh stuff. It was when I was kind of when you're a freelancer, like sometimes things are going great, and sometimes things get tight. And I was like, yeah, they'll pay my way to the show. Yeah, I have to like work the booth, but I can take commissions and deliver them at the show, and I get to be there and hobnob with other creators and stuff, and that was kind of my thing going in.
Clutch is in it.
But then I realized like it changed my mindset because as an artist, you're like, I just put cool pictures on paper, and hopefully people like it. But when you see how retailers have to sell stuff and you learn from that, you're like, oh, this is how you kind of connect with the fans from the retailer perspective. Like when you see somebody go, they ask questions that as an artist you don't think about answers. But if you're behind the booth and people are like, well, how many of these are there? What's the variant? Da da da. What's the ratio? Like,
Yeah. So you learned a lot from
I
that.
learned a lot. So just like I said, I did like 3 or 4 shows, but I
They
felt
want
like
a double sign. Yeah.
it taught me how to be because
Shout out Jimmy J for that and
most
Bill.
artists aren't good businessmen because we're not
Yeah,
wired. We're not
definitely.
wired to be businessmen in general,
Yep.
and we're introverted too. Like most
Mm.
artists just want to
Do
sit
their
at
stuff.
home and draw. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of part of being an artist. And when you're a retailer, you can be that person. You can't just sit behind the booth and that's just a little blue.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm almost still that way, in some sense. Like I want someone to be the podcaster. I want someone to be the face of the company. It's like
yeah,
I want to
yeah.
accomplish a
I
Do
got
You
I got
Poo.
some that are too bad right now.
I want to accomplish a Do You Poo where Do You Poo will be beyond. Sometimes they won't know Marat Michael's name.
Yeah,
They'll know Do You Poo
yeah,
as its own entity.
yeah. That's
And I really want to accomplish what you've done too, where you create something that is beyond yourself.
well. The cool thing is, like I said, it's I have a lot of artists that like literally go like, hey, I have a retailer who wants to do a Pooh cover that I'm gonna draw. So you're giving opportunities to artists and also retailers. Like my whole thing is the Pooh books, like per book, they're expensive, but our quantities, our limits are so small
Mm-hmm.
that it's probably the smallest investment you can make as a retailer into having your own variant. Um, so it's nice to know that you're kind of, it's not just making me money; it's helping a lot of people in the
Oh no,
industry.
you don't. You
Yeah,
don't know.
and I have retailers
That's
who are like,
amazing.
I've told people, I've had retailers like, don't ever retire. Half my income comes from your
Yeah,
books.
it's
You know,
amazing
which
the
which
whole family tree
yeah,
you've built. Like
that's
people base their business off of you
which
and to you poo.
that's like really cool because it's like you're not you're not just in it for yourself. I mean, we're all
Yeah.
for making money and supporting our
But like
family,
you said, everyone's eating.
but you want to like it's awesome when you're helping other people eat too, and you're helping set the table for other families and other people in the industry because this industry is tough. Look, I've been up, I've been down, like you know, I've seen it all. So it's it's nice to know that you're creating like more than just for yourself.
I really do not know a single retailer that is doing this format and that's doing the blueprint that you said. I don't know a single retailer that is not making money. So
Yeah.
you truly set the blueprint for maybe hundreds of retailers. That's
Like I
like
said,
imagine you.
dude, and I'm genuinely like happy for anybody.
Yeah,
Like I said, this industry is tough. So if you can make it in this industry, then good for you. Like I'm always cheering for people.
that's awesome. I love
You
it.
know,
I love it,
like
man.
like we told before this started. I'm like, look, I'm gonna make mine. I don't have to make everything. Like give me my couple of bucks, and I'm happy. And like you make your couple of bucks, and you make your couple of bucks, and you know,
Clutch is in.
clutch,
Clutch has been there too for years, coming to me and
clutch is
talking about the covers from back in the days. He's a true Do You Poo fan. I love Clutch.
clutch is definitely one of the top fans.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
His collection is pretty epic. Him and a guy named German Saint Paz.
Yeah.
He's arsons on whatnot. He might have had like the most extensive Do You Pooh collection ever. He's trying to put like a master list together for me. I think he told me he had like 37 short boxes of Pooh books.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. But Clutch is definitely right there.
Yeah.
Um,
And he true, like when
no,
he's talking to you about them, you
oh
you
no,
know
he,
he's very proud of
oh
them and
yeah,
loves
yeah,
them. I'm
yeah,
just like,
yeah.
oh
He's
man, I'm like, hey, like Deepu's not my character, but I do take like all these other retailers, they
yeah,
take a little bit of ownership in what they've
yeah. I
created
mean,
and they've done and these covers
yeah.
for them people to come up with
Look,
for me to me for
Do You
years.
Pooh is a parody, so technically it's not my character, it's just
Mhm.
my name. um, but yeah, no, it's like I said, that's the cool thing too. Like we have a Facebook page, Do You Pooh official, and it's got like over 2,000 members, and so many of them interact. And it's awesome to see like people trading or selling to each other or like comparing their PCs, and you're like, that's awesome. There's a community. Like
Yeah,
it's,
that's
like, and it's a community you connect with. Like,
there was a community back then too.
yeah,
Even when I did it, it was like "Do
yeah,
You Poo Australia" or something.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I was
That's
like,
yeah,
I was just like, whoa,
yeah.
and that was from the very jump.
There's a company called Unbox Collectibles,
Uh huh.
and they do like a variant every month, and they're based in Australia. And,
That's
and now I'm talking to like, I was talking to these people who want to bring me out for a European tour, and I was like, yeah, but like, do people even know about this stuff in like France or England or whatever, Denmark? Like
yeah.
and they're like, oh yeah, it's picking up traction. So you're like, holy crap, this is going like worldwide now. Like it's insane. I think the only place we won't be able to do poos is China because that president will not let us do anything with poo. Yeah, see, replica's like at a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Greg's awesome guy, totally cool. And you like see you
Clutch.
they like I've seen people literally like stand in line to buy some books and start talking. And then like a couple of conventions later, they're walking up together, they're like hanging out, and you're like, this is awesome. Like you guys became buddies, like buying a comic book together. Like that's really cool. Like so it does. And also it's like as you get older, like that stuff means more. Like when you're young, you're so tunnel vision, like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta, build this. And you don't appreciate that stuff as much as you get older and you get like on the other side of it. You're like, this is awesome. Like, this is cool. Like, you want to give back. You want to, like, that stuff means more to you than it does in the beginning. Because the beginning, you're just like, I got so much going on.
Go, go, go.
Yeah, like that stuff is not as important. And then
Well, in the
now,
beginning, you're building it, and
yeah,
then you don't see all the love, and then all of a sudden it's just outpouring.
yeah. And again, like my career started at a high point because I started with Image Comics.
Yep.
Like the first signing I ever did, me and a inker named Norm Rappin, who's worked for Marvel, DC, Image, obviously. We were pulling up to our first signing, and there was like literally hundreds of people wrapped around the block. And we pull up to the back of the store, and we go in, and we see the owner, and we're like, "Well, it's a signing here." Like we thought there was gonna be other guests, so we got excited as just like comic fans, and he's like, "No, these lines are for you guys."
Dude,
And it
yeah,
was
that's
crazy
such a
when
good
it's you're
feeling.
like, "Yeah, it's your first signing." And so, when
Thanks,
you're like
Replica.
19 years old, you're like, "This is my career." And then like it went great, and then it was like
Y-
over a decade where it's like, I got to do commissions, I gotta reach out to editors, I gotta find a way, like,
Even the
you know,
great Marat
yeah,
had the
yeah,
Artist
yeah.
Alley,
Dude,
the Artist Alley
the
blues.
grind,
Yeah, the
yeah,
grind, Artist Alley grind.
the grind is real.
Yeah,
That's why I'm so supportive of all like my fellow artists and creators and stuff. Because it is tough, man. Like,
you went through it all.
yeah, I've seen it all. I've had the highs, the lows. You never know if you're gonna hit those highs again. You're like, did I peak at 19? Am I the quarterback in high school? Like,
No, no, no. You were set to do this. You know.
but yeah, but
Imagine if you didn't do you poo, the landscape of comics would be very different.
yeah,
It's still it. Maybe someone would have came through with it, but we don't know.
yeah, you
Maybe
can't.
they didn't,
No,
and
yeah,
all these people are doing independent comics and making
yeah,
a living off of what you your blueprint. maybe didn't exist, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I always give credit to those, like, um, that I got ideas from, and you just, I think that's smart people. You absorb and you kind of see what works for you and how you can make it your own and adjust it and tweak it and kind of build your own thing.
Bucknick says, "Congrats on the 10 years, guys, and thanks for the great books." Bucknick,
Bucknick, thank you, bud.
yeah,
He's awesome. He's definitely a big time supporter.
10 years.
10
10
years.
years of Do You Pooh. We should all be so lucky to create something that has affected a whole industry for a decade.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The cool thing is too is like I won't name names, but definitely like guys who have had success in this industry for a long time uh, as creators and publishers, when they started calling me and asking for advice, and they're like, "How do you do this?" I was like, "Oh man, like I've crossed that line with you. Like I've gone from you know I've
Oh, give us a second.
technical
Oh,
difficulties.
of course, the difficulties come on the gold Zelda.
uh,
We know.
Boom.
They know
They know it's
they
coming.
know
Yeah.
that Otani is up. They know Otani is up. Cut the feed.
Yep.
Luca's about to make his debut. Cut the feed.
Monday we should go. Wish I could go to that game. We should go to the Dallas game.
Yeah.
I'll fly down. I'll drive down.
Uh, dang. Luca. It's too much.
Luca Lakers.
Definitely, I definitely got that little boost of
Yeah,
being a teenager again. Be like, oh man, we just got Kobe.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's I know it's different. It's way more exciting than when LeBron joined the Lakers. But I think part of when LeBron joined the Lakers, we were like, yeah, we suck. like,
It's also too. It's almost
but
as if we're very thankful for AD and LeBron
yeah,
getting us a chip. But that this
I love AD. Yeah,
manufactured chip is almost that we didn't grow up with them, or we
yeah,
didn't see them grow. They were
yeah.
fully
More LeBron than AD because AD was still super young when he joined us. He was like 27,
27,
26,
yeah.
27.
But he was really one of the
Luca,
best.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Luca's a top three player in
yeah.
the world. So I guess.
Shout out Alessandro Maselli, awesome artist. All right, I think we might be back up. Let us know. And then, did we want this double signed or single signed? Either way, or even unsigned. Anything you want. Irish. Double? Okay, cool. All right. We get into the last three one of ones. Of course, to the Mega Grail Zelda. It's coming up soon.
Let's get it. I got to be somewhere new.
Yep.
I'm going to have to run, and I have bad knees. So come on, man.
We're thankful, Marat's very busy man. We're thankful he set some time out for us for this celebration. We are celebrating him.
JPG.
Everyone celebrate him.
It's like, just come by, 15 minutes, maybe half an hour. We'll do a quick little interview, auction off a few books. And I get here, it's like, we're going to auction all these books.
24. He's correct. I did tell him like a minute.
He did. He tricked me.
To be fair, it's they're bidding on it, so they're making it go longer. Right? So it really is only 24. It's really only 24 auctions, but it's your fault for creating such a demand for these books. So blame
Yeah, I blame myself.
yourself. The credit is to you.
I'm gonna do hater posts to myself.
What did I do? Oakman's in the lead for this gold. Do You Pooh after party? Yeah, so give us more about the decade. Just give us as much takes as you can in the next like
Well,
2 minutes.
I think like you can tell the industry was changing. Like when we started this, like I told a friend of mine, I was like, it's weird, and it was especially after I worked with Jimmy J and as a retailer. It's kind of changing because people aren't the stories that are being produced aren't connecting with people the way they used to.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it's becoming a little more like trading card market. Like it's changing. People just want to own something that's rare,
That they could be proud of,
and so
right?
yeah, and so you can see it, and You know, so it's like it's just interesting to see. And when you're like, oh, you trailblazed it, well, I was like, yeah, but I was reading all the tea leaves of like where collectors are going, you know, and you can see with like CGC and all
All
that kind
right,
of stuff.
guys, we're getting to the basically, the ones,
The ones,
the Otanis, the Kobe, the
yeah,
Jordans,
yeah,
the Zelda, and
the the rarefied air.
this is, I mean, this is it. You never know. I kind of knew the Zelda would hit. I didn't know it was gonna hit harder than Mario
Yeah,
or anything. The Zelda just went crazy.
yeah. But
Oh, it's very
you
cool to
you
see him.
you knew.
I did not know.
Well, you
I
knew
just
you
through the years as
you
people kept
picked
telling me about
you
the
picked
Zelda, I
you
was like, okay.
you picked all these winners. You knew something. You know?
It's like, oh, your Zelda's crazy. Shmojo. Congratulations on grabbing the Zelda. It's gave me a lot of good this, for the Do You Poo market, made myself a name.
Yeah,
I didn't even know throughout the years until people were coming up to me
yeah.
like, oh, but
That's
yeah,
why
it's
that's why I give you shit. I'm like, dude, like,
I was like, I didn't know. I was
like
like,
you need to
oh,
do more books.
I was like,
People love the concepts you come up with.
I was like, I know we made money off of them. I didn't know they're like going up like crazy. Nice fixed comics room. And this is the last one, guys. So we're gonna thank Marat one more time.
I'm gonna sign it here. This
Uh,
silver on silver.
yeah,
It'll just look
yeah.
weird. So.
The last one of the
Ooh,
days, celebrating
one.
giving our flowers
That's
to
right.
Marat Mychaels, the creator of Do You Pooh, who has changed the landscape for comic books. For me, especially, trailblazing is a very difficult thing to do. And when someone sets out the blueprint, you really set a path for people to follow and have the confidence. They're not scared anymore. They know it works. And it's worked. It's working for everyone. I don't see anybody. Everybody that has copied your blueprint says that that's how they make their best money.
I appreciate it so much, like for real, like this. I don't ever look at myself that way. I'm like I'm just blessed enough to do this for a living. Uh, it's awesome when people say stuff to you like
Clutch.
that.
Yeah.
It does hit. You know, it definitely hits me in all the feels. But
It's awesome,
it's awesome. But I'm like I said, dude, I'm so happy for other people's success. Like I was so happy for you with Ninja Funk
Thank you, thank you.
and now your new book that I'm
And
starting to see.
the dream killer,
The
and
Gym
that's
Killer.
very much like the way you're presenting, how you're saying we have a company. It's very much following your blueprint.
Yeah,
I'm not
which
like
is awesome. You
I'm not
actually
hiding
you actually told me that you were like, I got this new book and it's
it.
totally doing the
Yeah,
blueprint.
yeah.
I'm like,
I'm
good
not.
for you, like kill
I'm
it, like
totally like I love the way Murat did it. I love collecting,
yeah,
and so I love the limited edition, and
that's it.
so
Yeah,
when you think about the Do You Blueprint, you say like, oh, you want people to know that it's gonna hold its value. Not only hold its value, appreciate
yeah.
it. All of the books have appreciated, and that's the same thing that we want our brand to be. And so
And
we are completely.
I'm cheering for you, brother.
Thank you, Ella. So once again, we want to thank Marat Mychaels and a decade of Do You Poo. Thank him for letting
Yeah,
us
man.
be a part of it.
Thank all you guys for the support. Thank you for the support, the love, the platform to get out to more fans and stuff. And I genuinely appreciate it. And if you're around, whatever roses JP gives me, I'll give them to all the fans. Everybody
Yeah.
gets a pedal.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a pedal.
All right. Let's do it.
Awesome.
Let's raid out.